The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Investing is the easiest way to double your money, especially when you do it right. Most of us need help with getting started, right? I'm telling you right now, Fifth Investments is the easiest way to take your first step. You can sign up for the daily trading journal, weekly newsletter, including trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information on navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Look, man, we got a great episode for you today. I'm back again with the solo takes. I'm so happy about it. I love having the guests on, and I appreciate all the guests who've come on in the past few weeks. It's been amazing, actually. Been very, very fun. But I've missed out on some of my solo takes, and I haven't been able to touch on every single thing that I really want to. And just share my thoughts and go on and on about it just for a second. So to kick this off, first things first, we done wasting time in here. We done playing around. Let's get straight to business here. Straight to the basics. Back to the basics. We all in it. Cut the music. Let's hear it. First things first, man. Random quick take. Kicking it off with the Memphis Grizzlies. These guys, we've seen that altercation that happened with Shannon Sharpe and the Memphis Grizzlies. I really don't care too much about that. Let's be honest. I'm not really worried about Shannon Sharpe and things getting out of hand on the sideline at an actual game in the National Basketball League. It's not going to happen. It's only so far where things are going to get out of control. They are definitely nowhere near going to let another Malice in the Palace happen ever again. So anytime there's some sort of fight, I highly doubt it escalates to that point, especially when it's with a fan. And a fan in this category, Shannon Sharpe, a Hall of Famer. Like, it's nothing that's going to be that serious. But with the Grizzlies, what I've noticed with these guys, they are low-key becoming the most disliked team in the NBA. And I say this for a reason. They got all the attributes to become that disliked team in the NBA, but they're chippy. They get a lot of media coverage. You got Ja Morant there, the Mr. Human highlight film part 2. No disrespect to VC because he will always be the original. But they're young, they're talented, they win, they're fun to watch. And most of all, man, they are cocky as hell. Like, I got to tell you straight up, this team is cocky as hell. And I like to avoid using that word cocky as hell because honestly, in society, this is just the way this is just the way it is, honestly. Most of the time when society sees young black males being confident in anything they do, they immediately assume, oh, he's cocky as hell. So I typically like to avoid that. But in this case here, the Memphis Grizzlies, them boys is low-key cocky as hell. And I'm all for brothers having fun together and being confident in their skill, their work set. It's needed to win a championship, honestly. But the core principles that make the Grizzlies tough are the principles that lead to championships. You know, being tough, being chippy, having that confidence, having the talent to play outside of the star. Young guys, bench depth, shooters. You want to have a well-rounded organization. But let's not be silly. Because in contrast, these guys have not done a damn thing to deserve to walk around cocky as hell like they are being. They walking around like they the goddamn 97 Chicago Bulls off of 2 3-peats back to back. And they ain't won a damn thing. Even if they was the Golden State Warriors, I would respect it just a little bit more. But I haven't seen nothing from this team, Memphis Grizzlies. The best I've seen was them go in a second round of the playoffs and not do nothing. They lost. They lost. They got put out by the champs. And yet they disrespect each and every other team that has done something greater than they have. They disrespected the Warriors. And I'm all for it. Come at their neck. Show them that you're here. Show them that you are going to be a problem in the next few years. I'm with that. You're supposed to do that. Go at LeBron for all I care. Show LeBron that, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. Show him there's more than just you guys being young. I'm all for it. I'm with it. I'm not upset at that at all, but you have to understand the balance. You have not won a damn thing in the NBA yet. All this regular season stuff, that's cool. The highlights, all of that stuff is cool. It's nice. It's fun to watch. It's cool to look when you're flipping through social media and you see those things. But at the end of the day, none of that matters if it's not happening in the postseason. All of that regular season stuff is the stuff that gets forgotten with great players and great teams that have existed over the years. Nothing really matters if it doesn't happen in the playoffs. That's what the Memphis Grizzlies seem to not understand. Because I'm all for the hype, but they don't seem to understand that. So that's one thing. That's really the main thing that kind of bugs me with the Memphis Grizzlies. And that's why I say they're slowly becoming the most disliked team, because they're disrespectful, they're chippy, they're edgy, they're young, they're talented, they got a lot of spotlight on them. So I'm all for it. Hey, go ahead and be the stars that you guys are. As a matter of fact, be those stars that each and every one of you guys are. But just know, until you show somebody what it really is come playoff time, you're never going to have that respect from the OGs or from the guys who've just been watching basketball for an extended period of time. You're never going to have that respect. So that's that with the Memphis Grizzlies, man. Look, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to some news. And then we got another quick take as well. Actually, we're going to reverse that. We're going to do a quick take first, another one, and then we're going to jump back into some news. Stay tuned. We will be right back. All right. What's the deal, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Now, look, I have somewhere out there followed by an exaggerated take. Now, somewhere out there, there's a podcaster trying to convince you with something you don't really agree with. And right now, you're probably around an area where a Bulls fan is probably trying to convince you that they're going to bounce back this season, right? With DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Oh, they're going to bounce back. Lonzo's going to come back. They're trying to convince you that. Let me tell you right now, that guy who's trying to convince you is not me. And in fact, I think it's quite foolish to think that. Lonzo Ball is not an excuse anymore for the Chicago Bulls. Any Bulls fans out there that's still telling you, oh, we can make something happen this year. Oh, we just got to make something happen. Lonzo's just got to come back. Billy Donovan is going to have it under control. DeMar DeRozan is still playing good. Zach LaVine is still playing good. We just got to be healthy. All of these things. Anybody who's trying to convince you seriously that the Bulls are still going to strike something up, they need to be stopped. You need to tell them they need to cut it out. Cut it out. That's it. Don't even go into any explanation when they tell you that. Just say, hey, look, Mark, cut it out. Or, hey, look, John, cut it out. Scotty, cut it out. Whatever the name is, tell them to cut it out, because the Bulls, they have more than enough at this point in the NBA to be better than what they are. Because how are you going to stink with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the same basketball team together? These are two elite scorers in the NBA. Elite scorers in the NBA. And yet they cannot cook up a game plan to make something work. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The Bulls, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking for them. Because DeMar DeRozan, he only has so much more time to be playing at this peak level for the Bulls to continue to waste his talent like they are doing. With top-tier talent like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the same team, damn it, Billy Donovan as a head coach should be able to cook something up and make it work. And you still got Vujacic, you still got Drummond that sometimes come off the bench. You have more than enough to make it really work. And I get, there's a lot of young guys. There's a lot of young guys on this Bulls team, and I'm not saying toss all the young guys out, but you have to start making win-now moves with the roster that you have. Yes, it takes time for young guys to develop. Yes, the young guys still have a lot of hope for their development in the future and helping this franchise in the future as well. But when you have top-tier talent like DeMar DeRozan, who only has a few years left in his absolute peak, who's in championship form, you need to strike now. Why are you still waiting around for anything to happen? You need to strike now and make sure you're one of those elite competitors in this Eastern Conference. Make sure your team is going to have a chance to go play in the finals or the conference finals at least, because this is not good enough. And time, I'm hearing excuse after excuse about why the Bulls aren't going to be able to make this happen. A huge reason of why, to add to my previous points, is that the Bulls are not playing as hard as they should either. Yes, it's some chemistry issues going on. We've heard that. That's one of the things I actually agree with. Maybe it's with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, or maybe it's the blend between the younger and the older guys, the vets. We don't know exactly what it is because we're not in that locker room. But ultimately, that's something that needs to be worked out. And I put a lot of that blame on head coach Billy Donovan. Because as a head coach, that's something that's part of your job, is to check the egos at the door. You think Steve Kerr won a championship with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond without checking egos at the door? You think he won it last year without KD, with Steph, Clay, and Dre, and a developing Jordan Poole without checking egos at the door? Or how about when they first all started gaining popularity with Steph and Clay and the Splash Bros with Draymond Green there as an engine for that team? You think he didn't have to check egos at the door? That comes with the job. That's something you need to start watching out for. And that's something you should look for as a head coach. And you have to put emphasis on it in order for your team to stay afloat. Other than that, that's it with the Chicago Bulls. Their season is done. It's the trade deadline is right here pretty much. I think we got like 2 more days. Maybe even more than that. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that part. But I'm pretty sure we only have a few more days left of the trade deadline to come in. Maybe like a week or 2 because the All-Star break is coming up. But ultimately, they're not making any big moves that we see. I haven't seen anything that's a win now move. I haven't seen any of the young guys up for trades or up for grabs or any picks up for grabs. And I'm just saying, when you got talent like that, enough to make it work, all you need is a little bit here and there to really cook up a game plan and actually get things going. So as far as them Chicago Bulls, man, it's looking very, very rough. It's looking rough for those guys. The Run with Manny Wilson podcast is brought to you by Fifth Investments. Sports betting is cool, but you can really get the most out of your money trading in the stock market. You can make money when stocks go up, and you can make money when stocks go down. But all you need is a little guidance. So use the Fifth Investment Stock Trading Journal to help you get started right away. Fifth Investments is a fantastic resource for daily trade ideas, market analysis, news, and information for navigating the stock market. They got you covered with long-term, short-term, options trading, and more. So go to fiftinvestments.com and use the promo code THERUN for $20 off your premier membership, or just sign up for free. Trade the stock market and perfect a skill that's going to last you a lifetime.
The information is not trading or investment advice. The newsletter is only a personal blog that is being offered publicly for general information purposes only.